The Duke of Cambridge, Prince William, has expressed profound sorrow for slavery, saying it has forever stained Britain's history. The sentiments were made amid growing calls for Jamaica and other non-Republican independent Caribbean nations to sever ties with the Queen, who remains the titular head of state. There have been calls for the British to say sorry for slavery and provide reparations for countries like Jamaica. Now, addressing the state dinner at King's House to culminate day 2 of the visit of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, Prince William said slavery was abhorrent and should never have happened.
Already in our short time here, Catherine and I are delighted to have felt what Bob Marley described so many years ago, the spirit of one love that Jamaica has given to the world and which makes this country so special. I'm particularly pleased tonight to convey the very best wishes from my grandmother, the Queen of Jamaica, on the occasion of her Platinum Jubilee. It is no secret that the Queen has a deep affection for Jamaica, forged on her very first visit here with my grandfather, the Duke of Edinburgh, in 1953. And likewise, I've been touched to hear today from Jamaicans young and old about their affection for the Queen. Her dedication, commitment, and sense of duty to the Commonwealth family is deeply admired. She may be my actual grandmother, but everyone counts her as their grandmother too, and I'm okay with that. Over the decades, Jamaica has witnessed huge change. But what hasn't changed is the irrefutable Jamaican belief in upholding democracy and working together with other nations in support of peace, security, and international law.
His comment follows Prime Minister Andrew Holness's declaration to Prince William and Kate early yesterday that the country will be making preparations to remove the Queen as head of state. Meanwhile, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge attended a military parade on the final day of their tour of Jamaica. William and Kate were guests of honor at the commissioning parade for service personnel who have recently completed the Caribbean Military Academy's officer training program. The Duke acted as reviewing officer for the parade, which saw 79 officer cadets involved from across the Caribbean, including from Jamaica, Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, and Guyana and St. Kitts. William and Kate made their way to the parade ground, where the future king received the royal salute before inspecting the parade. The royal couple's 3-day visit ended today. Now, the trip formed part of a Royal Caribbean tour in celebration of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Still tonight, a community in Clarendon is in mourning following the tragic deaths of 2 toddlers in a fire. The children aged 3 and 4 years were trapped in the blazing zinc and concrete dwelling in Hayesfield Racecourse as the fire raged. The cause of the fire is not known. The mother of the children, Maisie Walters, 27, said she had just gone across the road when others in the yard raised an alarm that the house was on fire. They tried to save the children, but the fire and smoke quickly engulfed the entire dwelling. Police sources say the fire began at approximately 11:30 a.m. and completely destroyed the 1-bedroom concrete structure that the children were in. The cause of the fire is unknown. In other news tonight, a policeman was injured after his motorbike collided with a vehicle being driven by former Speaker of the House of Parliament, Pernell Charles Sr. It is understood that the policeman, a constable assigned to the Hunts Bay Traffic Unit, had to be rushed to hospital after the collision that occurred on Perkins Boulevard at the foot of Queens Hill in St. Andrew. Superintendent Damian Manderson of the St. Andrew South Police Division confirmed the incident. The condition of the policeman is unclear at this time. Mr. Charles did not appear to suffer any serious injury in the collision. We will bring you updates on this story in subsequent newscasts. Continuing with the news tonight, the Negril police in Westmoreland have commenced an investigation into the murder of a bike taxi operator and his female pillion, who were both fatally shot by gunmen in the parish on Wednesday, March 23. Dead are 32-year-old Dwayne Anthony Robinson, otherwise called Wacky, of Whitehall in Negril, and 24-year-old Tassian Copeland of Nunperry Road, also in Westmoreland, whom it is believed was 4 months pregnant at the time of her death. Reports from the Negril police coming into our news center tonight are that at approximately 10:45 p.m., Robinson and Copeland were traveling on a motorcycle along Nunperry Main Road when they were shot by unknown assailants. Robinson, who was riding, lost control of the motorcycle that crashed into a cash pot outlet. The police were summoned, and upon reaching the location, the injured male and female were discovered suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. They were rushed to the hospital, where they were pronounced dead. Mrs. Una Copeland, mother of the slain female, Tassian Copeland, says it's very hard losing her only daughter.
I said, no, I don't see her. I said, what's your name? She named Copeland. I said, yes. I said, what is your full name? I said, Tassian Brittany Copeland. He said, Lord have mercy. He looked on the other girl and then looked on one of them. I said, what? I said, what? I dead in dead. And the two of them look back on one another. He said, no, tell me, I dead in dead. And he then say, yes, bright down myself. And I'm nervous same time, and the guy they dropped the gun. But when we go, then gone with the body, them already. So we down at the crime scene, they look. The Lord have mercy, what me about to do? One girl pick me up. One and only girl try me up. And I suffer with her. And I try to grow up. To have manners and respect. She know the type of road girl. She get involved with one of her classmates named Jovan White. And she got pregnant and he walk away. And he take time to come around. He said, don't you get back in the relationship again. You learn from what happened to you. He said, yes, mommy, me no fool. And then the officer called me and said, you go and down a dialysis. One day go escort me to identify him. So me didn't want to go in, but he said, no, I'm not going to go see me at my condition. It looked like he sit down on the bike sideways. He left work little after 10. 3 of them come downtown. And she go up on the bike and the next girl go up on the bike. And it looked like them when they watch them and then trail them. So she said sideways, ladies way on the bike. I shot go through this side.
Still making Mello TV news, the Hanover police have confirmed that the popular Hanover businessman who was fatally shot by armed men at his business place in Green Island last night was also a Juta tour bus operator. He has been identified as 61-year-old Fitzroy Watson, otherwise called Pound, also of Green Island. Reports from the Green Island police coming into our news center are that shortly after 8 p.m., Watson was at his wholesale liquor outlet in Green Island Square when a group of gunmen on motorcycles rode to the location. The men opened fire, hitting Watson multiple times before making their escape on the motorcycles. The police were summoned, and upon their arrival, Watson was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Sections of the building and musical equipment in a nearby bar was also damaged by the hail of bullets. Now, Member of Parliament for Western Westmoreland, Moreland Wilson, was at the scene of the double murder and had this to say regarding the incident.
To pay my respect to the family on the tragic loss, really. Details are sketchy. I'll leave that up to the police right now. But in general, I would say that we have just returned to normalcy in just about a week. Because last week, Wednesday, that things were changed under the DRM Act, and we have now seen somewhat of some incidences, a spike in incidences being continued in the parish. And again, you know, I'm appealing to everyone out there to work with the police, you know, share the information. There are many private ways of communication information to the police about what you may have seen or heard or know. We are at a point now where we really have to take some decisive action to curtail these incidences in the parish.
Continuing with the news tonight, a student from the Excelsior High School on Mountain View Avenue in Kingston has been hospitalized after a stabbing incident at the institution yesterday. A video clip of the altercation between the schoolboys has been making its rounds on social media. Now, the student, who is said to be in grade 11, was reportedly stabbed 3 times in front of the school's gates. This is the 3rd such incident involving students this week. Yesterday, a student, Kenneth Williams, 15, was killed during an attempted robbery of his cellular phone on Ligony Avenue. Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, head of the Constabulary's Corporate Communications Unit, CCU, reported that a 16-year-old boy has been taken into custody in relation to the murder of the Papine High School student. Another suspect is also being sought in connection with the murder of Williams. Now, on Monday, a William Knibb High School student in Trelawney was fatally stabbed by another, reportedly over a guard ring. His 16-year-old classmate has since been taken into police custody. The police confirmed that they have the ring and the murder weapon in their possession. Still making the news tonight, the Portland police captured 31-year-old Davian Bryan, otherwise called Davion, during a targeted operation in Hope Bay District, Portland, yesterday. Reports are that between 9 and 10 p.m. during a targeted operation, Bryan, who was wanted by the police for the offenses of illegal possession of firearm, kidnapping, and rape, was captured. According to the Jamaica Constabulary Force in a release today, Davian Bryan's capture comes on the heels of several coordinated activities. The JCF also said that their efforts to capture Bryan were aided through partnership with elected officials in the parish who worked with the communities in sharing intelligence with the police. The JCF said that special commendations must go to the hard-working members of the Portland Police Division who expended great effort in capturing Bryan to improve the safety and security of the citizens in Portland. The JCF is urging the citizens of Portland to continue to work with the police to keep Portland the safest parish in Jamaica. Continuing with the news tonight, the Department of Correctional Services, DCS, will resume non-contact visits at adult institutions effective Monday, March 28. Now, this resumption follows the withdrawal of the Disaster Risk Management Act, DRMA, on March 18. In 2020, the DCS discontinued visits to correctional institutions to prevent the introduction of the COVID-19 virus within correctional centers. At the beginning of this month, the department had resumed non-contact visits within juvenile institutions. The DCS said it continues to maintain strict adherence to all COVID-19 protocols. And those are the stories making news. We now take a break and then join Christopher Scott with the latest in sports.